It's the Channel Mom Show, celebrating you with Jenny Dean Schmidt.
Brought to you by the Healthy Marriage Project. Just click on one of their ads to find out about a healthy relationship workshop near you.
Okay, Party Dan.
I always try and bring up the mood.
Yes, was the mood down? What are you saying?
No, I'm just, that's what I try and bring to the show.
Yes, I know. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
No problem.
And you do bring up the mood, so thank you. All righty. The father-daughter relationship. I have known so many women over the years who have struggled because they did not have good relationships with their fathers, or they had really particularly poor ones. And then I watch little ones too, and I'm aware of how they relate to their daddies, because I know in particular with daughters, it's going to affect the way they relate to men in general. That bond they have with their own daddy is going to affect the way they relate to men. So the father-daughter journey, it's called, and its founder is Ellen Schmitz. She bridges the gap between fathers and daughters, enabling them to see one another in a different light, guiding them through a process that strengthens relationships and builds bonds between fathers and daughters that can withstand the firestorms of life. It allows them to find ways to meet in the middle, to talk, connect, solve problems, and build the kind of future that they both desire as a father and a daughter. She did all this along with her dad, Ken Larson. She has co-written The Father-Daughter Journey, and the books are available on Amazon. There is a daughter's edition and a father's edition. Welcome to the show, Ellen.
Great to be here.
We're so glad to have you. All right, I just got to know. Everybody could tell you something about her relationship with her father unless he has not been in her life at all. And then again, you're still can say something about the fact that you haven't had a daddy in your life, whether it's through death or divorce or whatever it is. What in your own personal life motivated you to help other daughters like yourself relate better to their fathers?
Well, the real motivation came when my dad and I reached the adult phase of our relationship, because we've kind of discovered that there are these three phases to the father-daughter relationship. There's the princess-daughter, the hero-dad phase, which that's the fun phase, right, when your daughter's little. Then there's the 520 window phase when your daughter's an adolescent and dad becomes a total dork. And that's the hard phase, but it's the important one. And then the final phase is when there's an adult daughter and the dad gets to be the world's greatest dad. Well, now my dad has become the world's greatest dad, and I'm an adult, and I don't think he's a dork anymore. And he came to me because he was doing conferences with other dads, and he was talking to them about strengthening all the relationships in their lives. But the thing that the dads kept freaking out about was their teenage daughters. Every time he would mention your teenage daughter, every hand in the room would go up. And my dad said, I have no idea how to answer your questions. So he came to me and said, Ellen, how do we help these dads? And that's how the father-daughter journey was born.
Well, beautiful. And what do you happen to know when they were raising their hands what they were most disturbed about, what was bothering them?
Well, I think the thing that happens is you start with that first phase, that hero dad, princess daughter phase, and it's really easy to be a dad during that time, because who doesn't want to be worshipped like a hero, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden your daughter becomes a teenager and she enters what we call the 520 window, and everybody knows what it looks like. Have you seen that Geico commercial where it's the teenage girl diet, where it's like, you're so gross, you know?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden your teenage daughter, your sweet little princess, starts rolling her eyes and slamming doors, and dads just freak out because they don't know how to respond. It's like, what happened? Who pulled the rug out from under me? And how did you go from being this sweet little princess to this teenager that I don't know how to relate to anymore?
Sure, and I also think for dads in particular, I know my husband with our daughter, who's 9, so he's still in the hero daddy phase. Thank goodness. I know he's concerned about her losing her innocence. I mean, he doesn't want a boy near her till she's like 38, Right. And so I know that's got to be part of the factor too, that dads kind of freak out about their daughters starting to date and things like that. Is that not part of it?
Oh, that's totally a part of it. And the thing about it, and what we try to help dads through, is I'm kind of here to be your secret guide into the world of your teenage daughter. I'm going to spill all the secrets. But the good thing is I spill all of your secrets to your daughter, too. That's why I wrote a father book and a daughter book, because the biggest thing that happens between dads and daughters is that not only do you have this generational thing, that dads are from one generation, their daughters are from another. Then you also have this parent-child thing. And then on top of it, you have the male-female thing.
Right.
and they just don't get each other, and they're trying to figure it out. And just like you said, these dads are trying to protect their daughters. And what I try and help dads through is, how do you let them go but still have an influence in their lives, so that even though you're letting them go, which is normal and natural and healthy and good, and your daughter needs you to let her go, you can let her go, but you can still be involved, and you can still speak into her life and give her truth and give her the tools she needs so that she can be successful.
Right. By the way, we are speaking to Ellen Schmitz, the founder of the father-daughter journey, along with her papa, and she helps him. You know, I have to say, I want to talk about the 520 window here in a second, and I also want you to be able to tell people how to get a hold of your books. What about, I'm going to be just really bold here and say, what about the promiscuity thing? I remember in college and in high school witnessing so many girls who didn't feel good about how their dads felt about them, or maybe they lost their dads because they passed away or through divorce, or they just didn't see them anymore. And I think it's a proven fact that you can link a certain kind of promiscuity amongst girls or teen girls or college-age girls with not having a close, good relationship, healthy relationship with their dad. Is that true?
100%.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot stress that more to dads and to moms, too, because it's important for moms to step in and encourage, whether it's their husband or whoever is the dad, because I believe in surrogate dads, too. Okay. Every daughter needs a dad, whether it's her biological dad or someone else who steps in. But when a girl has a dad who steps in and really speaks truth into her, teaches her about men, what they're looking for, what they want, but also builds up her self-esteem, teaches her about herself, they are less likely to get pregnant. They're less likely to be involved with drugs or alcohol, which also is an issue with promiscuity. They're less likely to be arrested. They're less likely to have problems in school. I mean, girls who have a dad in their life or a dad figure in their life, they just do better in almost every category. It's so, so, so important for girls to have a dad.
Okay, dads, come on and step up. I know, Daniel, speaking of surrogate dads, you're very involved in your niece's life. I know that, and that's a great thing, because you don't need to be a surrogate dad, but you recognize that you're important to them, right, Dan?
I hope so. They're coming into town next week. I think. I'm not sure with the whole state being on fire, but
yeah, exactly.
No, they get into town next week, so it's gonna be really, really good to see.
Yeah, well, Dan's got a picture of his nieces on his desk, so that's a cool thing. So let's talk about that surrogate dad thing. I want moms out there who are listening today and who are struggling and thinking, but my husband or my ex-husband isn't in my life. What do I do for my daughter? You know, about in terms of finding surrogate dads and things like that.
Well, and I've talked to a lot of single moms who, I mean, if there is a dad available that you can encourage to get involved, I mean, send him my book. It's a really simple, easy tool. But if there is no biological dad who can get involved, I know women who they have a good dad, so they encourage their dad. This one mom that I was talking to, she said, I just forced my dad to be a dad to my daughters because I knew they needed a dad. Or if you have, if your brother can step in and be a dad. Or, if you meet another dad at school, maybe your daughter has a friend who has a great dad, and you can talk to that dad about being a part of her life. And my book, yes, it's written for biological fathers and daughters, but if you're trying to step in as a surrogate dad of some kind, it's a really simple kind of get to know you kind of a thing that would be a great tool for a surrogate dad to step in and really build a relationship with a girl who's not his biological daughter.
Sure. And you know what? I'm glad you threw those statistics out there. We're never about judging or making people feel guilty on this show, because I don't want any mothers who are single, because there are a ton of them out there, to feel bad about a dad not being in their daughter's life. So that's not what we're about. But it is also a great reminder about the importance of family, to say a dad in a daughter's life is super important, and that just assumes that the mother is there too. It's just, it's the truth that if that you have an intact family, you're more likely to succeed in life. And so I just urge dads to step up and be a great father to their daughter, because I don't even think they realize that they're going to affect their daughter's dating life. If they can, to love her properly and make her feel valuable properly, if they just teach her that she's beautiful in their eyes and she's valuable in their eyes, right? I mean, it's so important. And tell me about the 520 window. What does that mean? Why is a dad particularly important to his daughter when she's between her 11th and 21st birthdays?
Well, the thing about the 520 window is it's that adolescent phase. And we've talked about adolescence for years in society and how important it is. Those are those formative years. And it's during that 520 window that your daughter's kind of figuring out who she is and what the world's all about and what her place is in the world. And this is the most important thing for dads. She's figuring out about men and how she's going to relate to men. And the thing about it, as much as we want to talk about the women's movement and how, women are taking their place in the world, and they are, and it's great, but this is a man's world. I mean, the world was created by men, and there is something about a dad stepping in and teaching a girl about the world of men and about the way men think and about the way men operate that just opens up doors. It unlocks her potential in ways that you can't even imagine. And it is so powerful. I mean, I look at myself, I look at my sister, and if we didn't have our dads stepping in and teaching us all of these secrets about the world and about men, there is no way we would be as successful as we are. And it's funny because my sister is incredibly successful, and people ask her all the time, well, how did you get here? And she tells them all the time, my dad. My dad is the one. We both talk to my dad probably every day.
Well, I hope you love your mom, too, because the show...
Of course. And that's the thing. I will say this. We love moms at the Father-Daughter Journey. I'm a mother of 3, so I'm a big advocate for moms. And I never thought I would be a dad advocate. This was kind of thrust upon me. But, man, moms are so key and have an important role. But I just feel bad for those dads that have gotten neglected. We've talked for years in society about how important moms are, and dads just kind of got thrown aside. And I just think it's so important for us to recognize that, yes, moms are so key. Yeah. So are grandparents and aunts and uncles. Yeah. But dads just play this unique role, and that's why dads are so important.
Absolutely.
Because moms do one thing and dads do another, and when you put it together, then you get this complete picture.
Sure. And I so applaud you for what you do. And I also want to remind moms, it's partly their role to urge the dad to be involved and recognize how important he is. And we can coach moms to do that. And I will just say, you say that we've been talking about how important moms are in society. Yeah, we kind of have, but it's kind of lip service. I don't think we honor moms nearly enough in our society. So that's why we do this show. But I applaud you for what you're doing with dads. You got about 40 seconds left. I want you to tell people how to get a hold of your book. And are dads interested in this too? Just tell me that very quickly and then get on to telling people how they can get a hold of your book.
Dads are totally interested in this because what we've found is that most dads out there really love their daughters and really want to be good dads. They just need to know how. Exactly. And so you can find us at fatherdaughterjourney.com, and you can get our book there. We're also up on Amazon. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube. You can find me all over the place. So look for Ellen Schmitz. Look for fatherdaughterjourney.com. We're there. And just remember, it's a father's guide and a daughter's guide.
That's awesome. And it's Schmitz, Schmitz.
Correct.
Okay.
Schmitz.
Beautiful. Thanks so much for being with us today, Ellen.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.